Okay, here's something maybe you've never really thought about. Why does the word person end with S-O-N, son?
Right. Is that just random, a linguistic accident?
Or could it be something more? Like, what if a common sound, like sun or san, actually holds some kind of uh, ancient code?
A hidden meaning we've just missed.
Exactly. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take a whole stack of sources and really unpack them, looking for those surprising nuggets of knowledge.
And today, we're diving deep into one word, person. It seems simple, but the story behind it is fascinatingly layered.
Yeah, we'll start with the mainstream linguistics view, the established
The
story.
standard etymology,
Right. But then we're going to explore a really provocative alternative, the Odam-Tilly theory.
which suggests a much, much deeper symbolic origin, ties into nature, identity. It's quite something.
Our goal here is basically to give you a shortcut to being really well informed about this word you probably use dozens of times a day.
And maybe you'll never hear it quite the same way again.
Okay, so let's start with that established view. Where do linguists generally say person comes from?
Straight from Latin. The word is persona, P-E-R-S-O-N-A.
Persona. And that didn't originally mean just an individual, did it?
No, not at all. Originally, persona specifically meant the mask that an actor wore in a play, like in ancient Roman theater.
Ah, okay, the mask.
From there, the meaning broadened a bit. It came to mean the character the actor was playing.
Makes sense. Mask represents character.
And then eventually it broadened out even further to mean just an individual human being, sort of like the role we all play on the stage of life, I suppose.
So from that perspective, the son part that we have in English person, it's
Yeah.
just there.
Purely coincidental, according to mainstream linguistics. There's absolutely no connection drawn between that ending and the English word son, meaning a male child.
So the idea that person evil per plus son, that's just not how it works in this view.
Nope. It's simply seen as an artifact of how that Latin word persona evolved as it came into English and other languages.
Okay, but you mentioned other languages. This coincidence, this S-O-N spelling, it pops up elsewhere, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it starts to get, a little intriguing. It's not just English.
Right. Like where else?
Well, think about German. The word is person, looks just like English, right? But their word for son, the male child, is Sohn, S-O-H-N. Totally different.
Okay, so the spelling matches, but the meaning isn't there.
Exactly. Then you've got Dutch, person, similar. Scandinavian languages, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, they all use person.
Wait, but Swedish for son is son, isn't it? S-O-N.
It is, yes.
Oh.
But etymologically, linguists trace the son in Swedish person back to the Latin persona, not to the native Swedish word son. So it's still considered unrelated in origin.
Huh, okay, keep going.
Icelandic is persona, then the Romance languages. French uses persona.
And their word for son is fil, completely different.
Right. Spanish, persona. Son is hijo. Italian, persona. Catalan, persona. Even constructed languages like Esperanto use persona.
Wow. Okay, so it really is everywhere. That pattern, that sudden's sound or spelling, just keeps showing up in words derived from persona.
It does, and the mainstream explanation remains the same. It's just a linguistic fossil.
Yeah.
It's the ghost of the Latin persona, Equase's mask role, and it has zero connection to the concept of a child.
It's just how the sound carried over.
That's the standard view.
But what if it isn't a coincidence? What if that pattern, that echo across languages, is actually pointing to something much older, something hidden?
And that is precisely where the Odam-Tilly theory comes in. It asks that exact question.
Okay, let's dive into this. The Odam-Tilly theory, it sounds different.
It is definitely an alternative framework, not widely accepted in mainstream circles. It's important to state that. But it's fascinating.
So what's the core idea?
It proposes that language isn't just arbitrary sounds we agreed on. It suggests language preserves a kind of primal coding system.
A coding system, like a secret code in words.
Sort of, yeah. But one derived directly from observing the natural world. The theory posits that very ancient thinkers, particularly associated with Turkic cultures, built meanings using body language, animal behaviors, the shapes found in nature.
Okay, so language reflecting reality in a very direct physical way.
Exactly. And the claim is that endings like sun and san that we see in words like person or similar words in other languages aren't accidents. They are fossilized signs of this ancient symbolic code.
Like linguistic fingerprints left behind?
Precisely. Imprints of a way of thinking rooted in nature.
All right, so break down this code for us. Where does sun or san come from in this view? It starts with the S sound, right?
Yes. Think about the sound ses. What does it make you think of? Visually, perhaps.
Well, slithering, flowing, a snake.
Exactly. In this symbolic logic, the S sound is the snake. But not just the animal. It represents the qualities of the snake's movement.
Qualities like.
Perfect flowing order. Think about how a snake moves its whole body, head to tail, follows the same path smoothly. It draws an S shape on the ground.
Right, it's very continuous, very
Fluid, and it occupies its space definitively. It moves along a surface without breaking its form. So, in this theory, the snake becomes the original symbol for ordered motion, for structure, for discipline and movement.
Okay, S equals snake equals order. I get that. What about the on or an part?
Well, the snake is always on something, right? It touches and defines the surface it slides over.
Grounded?
So, in this ancient sign system, it sounds like on or an were used to indicate placement or position. On could mean literally on top of a surface. In might mean within something. And amen could signify occupying a space, sort of denying emptiness by being there,
Yeah.
fixing a position.
So you combine the S for order with the on an for position.
And you get the meaning. S plus on n, the ordered being that fixes its position on the earth.
Wow.
Or S plus an is the being that fills space with order.
So SON or insan isn't just a random ending. In this theory, it's a composite sign, meaning ordered being in a defined position.
Exactly. And crucially, it's not seen as some abstract philosophical idea they came up with. It's derived directly from observing the snake, the ultimate sign of continuity and constant contact with the ground.
Okay, that's a completely different way of looking at it. So how does this Odam Tilly lens change our understanding of person specifically? Going back to the Latin persona.
Or remember, persona meant mask. In the Odam Tilly framework, that mask wasn't just a disguise or decoration.
It meant something deeper.
It symbolized the order or the role that human being played within their society. It was a way of making their identity, their place in the social structure, visible. It fixed their identity as a form of visible order.
Ah, okay. The mask is the order made visible.
Exactly. Now, combine that with the Latin root per. Per in Latin means things like through, forward, to go forward.
Right.
So if you put per going forward together with sun, order, in the Odam Tilly sense, what do you get?
The one who goes forward carrying order.
Precisely. A human being, a person, is seen fundamentally as a structured entity. Someone who carries internal and external order, moral codes, laws, social roles, identity, hierarchy, all forms of inherent order.
That's fascinating. It flips the meaning from just mask to something like ordered being progressing through life.
A much richer interpretation, certainly.
And you mentioned this code isn't just in European words. There was an Uzbek example.
Yes, a really striking one. The Uzbek word for human is insan, I-N-S-O-N.
Insan. Okay, break that down for us using this theory.
In generally means inside or within, and sun, as we've discussed, means order in this system.
So in plus sun, the being with inner order.
Exactly. Think about how closely that meaning parallels the Odam Tilly interpretation of person, the one carrying inner order.
Wow, that is close from completely different language families, apparently.
It suggests, according to this theory, that this underlying symbolic connection between human and order, represented by Sansan, might be incredibly ancient and widespread, like the snake's shape itself, preserved as a hidden linguistic sign across millennia.
Okay, so san means order, position. But there's another layer too, right? Something about continuity.
Yes, this is another really crucial symbolic dimension in the theory. Sansan doesn't just mean static order. It implies the continuity of that order, the flow.
How so?
Think about the snake again. It's an unbroken line, from head to tail, continuous.
Right.
That unbroken line becomes a natural metaphor for human lineage. An unbroken chain, father leads to son, who leads to grandson, and so on, generation after generation.
Hang on. In English, the word son literally means the male child, the next link in that chain.
Exactly. And the Odam Tilly theory would say that's not a coincidence at all. The English word son directly encodes that very concept, the next branch, the carrier of the family line, the continuation of the order.
So the meaning is layered. Son is order, and it's the passing on of that order.
Precisely. So, person, in this view, becomes he who carries order and passes it on, and Uzbek insan becomes inner order continuing.
The snake's line never breaks. The human lineage, the passing of order, is seen as potentially infinite.
That's the idea. Continuity is key.
Okay, stepping back a bit, what's the bigger implication here? Why does this matter beyond just, word origins?
Well, it fundamentally challenges the idea that language is arbitrary. It suggests that words, or at least their ancient roots, might not be random labels at all.
But that sounds encode physical truth.
Yes. Visible, observable realities from nature. The theory suggests that languages across vast regions like Eurasia might share these deep roots, because the original symbolic code wasn't invented in a vacuum. It was born from observing the same universal natural science.
So the snake wasn't just like a mythological figure, it was a teacher.
In a sense, yes. A grammar teacher, you could say. Teaching fundamental concepts: order, flow, continuity, position in space, all through its physical form and movement.
You also mentioned a physics connection. How does physics fit into this?
It's about how these symbols reflect physical realities. Consider the snake's S shape again.
Okay.
What other S shape is fundamental to humans? Our spine. The S curve of the human spine, it's our body's own structural order.
Huh. Never thought of that connection. S-shape S-spine.
And remember the RN sign, indicating position. Think about basic physics.
Yeah.
An ordered motion, any movement, has to occupy space. It fixes a position, even if momentarily. Nothing moves without being somewhere.
Right. Motion implies position.
So the argument is that the sound sun actually encodes multiple layers of reality: nature's ordered shape, the snake, the body's own ordered structure, the spine, and a fundamental physical truth about space and motion.
That's a lot packed into one little sound.
It is, and it even extends to the idea of sound itself. Think about the Latin verb sonar.
Which means to sound, like sonar.
Exactly. In the Odam logic, even that fits. What is sound, fundamentally?
What vibrations?
In the air.
Ordered vibration in the air. And what's a characteristic sound the snake makes?
A hiss, an ordered sound. So the theory even suggests that spoken language itself, with its structured sounds and grammar, is like the snake's order, that principle of structured flow coded into the mouth. It's all connected back to that primal symbol of order.
Wow. Okay, so we started with a pretty simple question, why sun in person? And we've gone from the standard linguistic answer, Latin persona, the mask, pure coincidence,
This is a historical artifact.
to this really deep alternative theory, Odam that sees sun as this ancient nature-based symbol for order, position, and continuity.
Derived directly from observing the snake, yeah. A symbol embedded not just in person, but potentially in words across different language families, like in Kisan.
It really makes you think differently about everyday words. So maybe a final thought to leave people mulling over.
Well, consider this. If the Odam view holds any water, then the snake, that ancient symbol of order, literally lives on in every sun and sand we utter.
It implies that a person isn't just some random individual, but inherently a carrier of order, structure, maybe even tradition.
And perhaps most profoundly, if the snake's body represents the timeline, continuous and unbroken,
Then the sun, both the sound in person and the literal child, is the link in that chain, the part that ensures the order, the lineage, never truly breaks.
exactly. So next time you say or hear the word person, just listen for a second. You might just catch a whisper of that ancient snake, that deep story of order and continuity hidden right there in plain sight.